In this video, I'm going to show you how to install a Penta shower enclosure. This is a tileable shower enclosure which is ideal for small spaces. Now the base for this Penta enclosure is pre-formed with the falls already in it, and as every plumber knows, when you go to put these in, it's often the case that there's a joist in the way, and I happen to know that there's a joist running just along the side of here. Now we have to get over these problems, and actually with this shallow waist I think I'm going to be alright, but if you're not alright, the options are either to move it out slightly and put an infill of the same material in the back, but there's also another option that Elements will make you a tray with the waist in a different position, and there's another solution, and this is a sub element, and this sub element allows you to put the former on the top, bedded in on KST adhesive, and then you've got room for that trap, and you've also got channels in this sub element to allow you to run pipe work in with your waist and your trap in there, and you can even tee in a waste from a basin into that pipe run as well. So there's plenty of room for you to get your pipes in there and get the falls. Now that's very useful if you can't cut into the floor joist or anything like that, or if you're on a concrete floor. So that's the sub element option, which is the easy way out, but I've never been one for the easy way out. I'm going to put this straight on the floor and try and get around that problem with the joist. Okay, well that's just taking the edge of that joist where this trap is going to go, but because this is a nice shallow trap and I'm going to bed this up slightly on some adhesive, I think I've only got to take a little bit out of that joist to make that work. But of course that's your call as a plumber, you have to make that decision, and obviously you don't want to weaken the structure. Sometimes it means you've got to move a tray, sometimes it means you've got to reinforce the joist, but in this particular place, because it's not overspanned, I could just take a little bit out. I've put strengtheners in to support this joist, but if you're notching joists, make sure that you never exceed the legal limits as outlined in the building regulations. So I'm happy with that, the way that's gone in. As I say, do not cut out your joists if it's going to weaken the structure. It's all in the building regs, the permissible amount you're allowed to take out the joists, and if you're in any doubt, reinforce it or move that tray over. But in this case, I'm happy that what I've done is safe. So now I'm ready to put the adhesive down and lay that tray bedded in, and everything I need to do that is in this box here. Okay, so now I've just dry fitted these walls just to check them, and if there's one piece of information that I want you to take away from this video, it's that this dimension is critical. The way we've set this up is to give ourselves 775 from cheek to cheek, and that is based upon a 10mm tile and 2.5mm of adhesive, say, so that we close that into 750 tile to tile. Now the reason that's critical is because we're using a frameless piece of glass, so there's no adjustment in a profile because there isn't a profile. So we need to make sure that's right at the bottom and that it stays right, and we need to make sure it's right at the top and that the whole thing is square. So I cut a couple of bits of timber just to put in there, just to stop anything moving around during construction, and if you do that, there'd be no tears at bedtime. In the kit, we've got the neoprene tape, which you cut to length and seal along the insides at the bottom and also up the inside verticals. And also there's a tub of Pro Seal to paint on. Now I just want to talk a little bit about tiling. Although I'm not a tiler, this is a conversation I've got to have with the tiler so he knows exactly what's required. We've got the mosaics, which I'd always recommend using on this Penta enclosure because it's a lot easier. And we're going to run the mosaics right along to the front edge, but we're also going to put a strip of mosaic in a couple of tile trims along the top of that to form a little lip. And the reason we're doing that is because we're going to put this hinge with the glass just about midway on that point when the tiles have been cut, but you can see what's going on. Now it's important that this glass actually is sitting on the inside of this upstand, so that if the water runs down the glass on the inside, it's not running onto the top of this tile and out that way, it's running inwards. And it's a perfectly simple thing to do, but it's important that the tiler knows that he's doing that. In fact, what you could do is just tile the whole lot and then leave it until you put the glass door in and then put that final bit of tile trim in there. That wouldn't harm. But also, when we look around the waist, we've got a mosaic which we've cut out ready to go into the waist. So there's plenty of detail on that on our other videos, but again, having this mosaic makes it a much simpler job to do. So that's my bit of the job really done. I'm just waiting for the tiler to come in. But I will just mention that when it comes to fixing these hinges for the shower door, you're not fixing just into this lightweight material. There is actually a Promac reinforced strip behind there which will take the weight of that door. You just pilot hole through the tiles, make your fixing through, and then screw straight into that strip.